Today I'm with the KTM Super Adventure S. It doesn't say S anywhere though, but you have to take my word for it. It is the S. The KTM Super Adventure S 2022. Is this the best street adventure bike? I just did a video on the KTM Super Adventure R recently. The Super Adventure S is a different bike. The S signifies street. Before getting into the details, first let's do the numbers. The engine is the same as the KTM, the Super Duke, the monster of an engine which has been tuned in a different manner, more specifically for adventure riding. It is a 1301 CC LC8 75 degrees VTwin engine that cranks out 158 bhp and 138 Newton meters of torque. That's a lot of torque. It is 4 valves per cylinder with a double overhead cam. There is astonishing power and an abundance of torque at every RPM that you dare to explore. Top speed is an amazing 250 km an hour. And you do a 0 to 100 in 3.3 seconds with a bike that weighs in at 245 kilos, which is a feat in itself. Super sport bikes will wonder what just happened. It's a V-twin with each engine getting its own individual curated radiator to keep things cool. You get a 23-liter tank that gives you a massive range of 440 plus kilometers on the highway, which basically means that you do lesser fuel stops and cover more distance on a tank full. This is an adventure bike designed for the street, hence it gets alloy wheels contrary to the R, which has spokes. The tires are also more suited to street riding as opposed to the dual sport tires on the Adventure R. The Adventure S gets a higher windscreen that can be adjusted manually for higher highway speeds to keep yourself comfortable. One of the biggest talking points of this bike is the suspension. This bike comes with intelligent suspension. It is a semi-active front fork that comes with electronically controlled magnetic valves for variable damping. As you brake, the front end compresses. At that moment, if the bike encounters a bump, it can be an unpleasant experience. But the computer sensing the bump releases some of the compression and the bump is soaked in. That's how the semi-active front fork works. On top of that, all settings can be personalized via the dashboard and they are indicated on the TFT screen. This is arguably the most advanced suspension system in the market today. And you can buy further firmware suspension upgrades through KTM that will open up more options on personalizations. Front suspension travel is 200 millimeters, and so is the rear suspension travel. That is 7.8 inches. That's a lot of suspension travel. Going on to the back roads, the bike is equipped with a steering damper between frame and the triple clamp. It is a new chrome molybdenum stainless steel frame that has been reworked and shortened to give better cornering ability, and the position of the engine has been moved to keep the front end down during hard acceleration. The swing arm has been extended to give more stiffness and traction stability. Braking is achieved by top-of-the-line Brembo calipers mounted on 320mm Brembo rotors. ABS is of course standard, but you can control the level of ABS intervention from the dashboard independently for the front and the rear. Rear brake is also a Brembo mounted on a 267mm disc. Let me show you how I sit on it. I'm 165 centimeters tall or 5 feet 6 inches. It is not the easiest bike to sit on for folks of slight build like me. The seat height is 85 centimeters or 33.4 inches. That is 3 centimeters lower than the R version, and this seat height is adjustable, provided you have the tech pack. It is a pretty comfortable riding stance, but the seat comfort is not, let's say, top of the line. It is rough around the edges. The seat height can be adjusted if you buy the tech pack. Another talking point of the bike is the ACC or the Adaptive Cruise Control. On the highway, it senses vehicles in front and adjusts your speed to keep you safer. For a motorcycle, that is pretty sensational tech. What are the servicing costs? Depending upon the kind of adventure you are seeking, your annual servicing cost should be less than $500. Service interval is a huge 15,000 kilometers, which is quite comforting actually. So what are the cons? The biggest con for me is to get the full potential out of this bike, you have to buy the tech pack that opens up a whole realm of possibilities. Of course, if you're buying this bike, you wouldn't mind going for the tech pack. It is unfortunate that you do not get even a quick shifter unless you buy the tech pack firmware. For a bike that costs $19,499 and then you have to pay extra for the firmware updates? Nah. My conclusion would be, if you're a long distance sports touring adventure kind of guy, this is a very good option. It is relatively comfortable, it is pretty fast, motor is reliable and full of torque, and if you're not going to go a lot of off-road, the Super Adventure S is a good option, and it is a lot of fun. A few days ago, I talked about the Super Adventure R. This is the S. I'm not sure which one I like more. What would you prefer? What is your preference? More adventure or more street? It's not an easy choice actually. They are both great bikes. Do let me know in the comment section down below and I'll be replying to your comments. And I'll definitely see you in the next one. Until then, ride safe.